Hi, I'm Marta. I run BD and DevRel at Subquery. We are super happy to be here to join builders, connect with network teams, DApp developers. This year was already big for us. We recently launched our mainnet network, and I'm here today to tell you what we've built so far, what is the next step for us, where we are going, and why we think we are in a prime position to provide truly decentralized services and holistic approach to decentralized infra. So this is why I'm here today. Yes, we are here. So before I go to what's next for us, I want to talk where we started. So we are operating for around 3 years, maybe now more, and we've started our journey working with many projects across different ecosystems and delivering open source SDK indexer. So this is our prime, one of core products, and we work with customers from different verticals. Happy to support, proud to support more than 150 networks, I think close to 157. So this is where we started. But parallelly to offering indexing services, we were also building our decentralized network. And we launched our Kepler network last year. And when we were working on the network, we understood that we are actually in a prime position to address broader issues related with Web3 infra, not only providing indexing services, but try to solve more issues for the builders. This is also related with the fact that we as a tooling provider, working with projects across different ecosystems, we have a huge exposure to problems that they are having. And that's why we have this deep insight, and we truly believe that we can solve more issues for builders. And that's why we are now transitioning from simply delivering indexing services to having more holistic approach and doing even more for builders. And this is something that I want to talk about today. So just going one step back, I want to tell you what indexing is in a nutshell. So essentially, we help builders get data from the chain. Blockchains are perfectly designed to solve a lot of issues that Web2 has. They're designed for data storage, but not necessarily for data querying. This poses a lot of operational issues for developers. It's not a rocket science to build your own indexers, but why you should focus on this, if you can focus on your end functionality, on the value you're bringing to users, and developing your product, where you can outsource this part and use one of the indexers which are available on the market. And who has like 30, 40 developers who will be working on indexer to make it optimized, to constantly maintain it? Nobody has those resources. So that's why it's good to actually rely on infrastructure providers and be able to focus on this unique value proposition you're building and product you are creating with your team. So essentially what we do, we help builders get the data from the chain. Our indexes attaches to the chain. You can specify very narrowed down use case. You can be interested in indexing only a part of the chain data, and we pre-save it in a database and provision GraphQL API endpoint for you to query this data. And we have customers from not only different ecosystems, but also verticals. So block explorers can use indexers. Of course, they have bigger demand for data, but also all the other DApp developers with narrowed down cases can use indexers. We collaborate with projects from NFT marketplaces, through DeFi, GameFi, SocialFi. Essentially, if you need to work with some type of data on the chain, you may want to look into building indexer your own or using some of the indexers out there. So that's what we do. And we are very proud to be faster than the graph, thanks to constant optimization of our features, thanks to allowing indexing unfinalized blocks in real time. And also, we have a lot of additional features that make our indexer really flexible solution. So essentially, what you can do is you can during your mapping procedure, when you get data from the blockchain, you are able to use external API calls, external libraries, and enrich your data with some information coming even out of the chain. So sky is the limit. This is something that is very unique and we are proud of. And there are also a lot of different features. I will share links to our documentation later. I'm happy to talk about them in details, but definitely we put a lot of efforts into optimization of our indexer and also bringing cool features so our use cases and projects building with Subquery can build super unique solutions. And as I've mentioned, 150 networks, it's already outdated, it's 157 and we are growing, we'll be bringing more. We started in Polkadot, that was our mother ecosystem, but we quickly went beyond to Avalanche, Cosmos, EVM, Algorand, Near, Flare, and so on and so on. And we are currently the leading indexer, the biggest when it comes to the number of networks we support. So definitely multi-chain is the thing that we are focusing on, and we think that multi-chain use cases and actually projects that are deployed on multi-chain in multi-chain environment or getting data from different chains are the future. And why we are multi-chain by design, it's not only because we support so many networks, but also that we support multi-chain indexing within one project. So just to quickly tell you how it works, if you have like 3 chains that you want to get some data from and they are of different specifications, like let's say we have EVM compatible chain and we have substrate based chain. Those will have different RPCs interfaces, different data handlers. You would need 2 different indexing projects to get this data from, and then you would need to do some additional work to unify this data, and maybe you would need to have actually separate databases and then do additional work to actually get it all done and have it in one place. So that's also something that we are solving for builders, allowing them to get data from different chains into one database and be able to query it through single endpoint. So this is a massive, massive help. Very proud of this solution. So let's get further. And now let's discuss a little bit our experience and also the reason why we went from just delivering data indexing to thinking about a more holistic approach. So we, as an indexer, we rely heavily on RPCs providers. And because we work across different ecosystems, we have this huge exposure. And we clearly saw that RPC ecosystem is actually fractured. So there are ecosystems where you have variety of choices, you have great services, you have available public endpoints, rate limited, but with option to actually upsell and have access without limits. You have variety of choices in some ecosystems, but there are also those ecosystems in which situation doesn't look that good. And for us as an indexer who works cross ecosystems, that's a big problem because we want to keep the same standard of our service no matter for what chain we are getting data from. And we couldn't because we rely on those RPC providers, and we see that there are some ecosystems that really struggle here. And to go a little bit deeper into this problem, if you are looking at the small, let's say, a network that is just starting, maybe also a small team will run RPCs for them, maybe a bit of amateur team as well, and this will be at expense of the network team, and those services are expensive. This is a huge cost for the network team to actually make those endpoints available for their ecosystem and their builders. So what happens is that the endpoints which are publicly available are rate limited, and usually or often they are pruned. So that's also a problem for indexing if you want to index historic state. And what happens is that builders usually don't go for those public endpoints, and they will need to use their private RPCs and pay for this service. And this is yet another barrier for someone to overcome if you want to get into Web3 and launch your network. So you can't focus on end functionality, you are struggling around all of those pieces, and also you have to pay for it. And then what is the result of it is that we have a limited redundancy because the cost of RPCs is huge, and then this team has to pay for several of them to ensure the redundancy. So that's another problem. And if we take an example, for instance, of a big network, established one, what we could see there is that quite often we will have great endpoints available, but they will come from big corporations and big providers. And there is a limited number of such companies who can offer great public endpoints and secure or offer a great deal to big network and established project. But what happens is that a lot of DApps and a lot of networks then depend on very limited number of RPC providers, hyperscale RPCs providers. So in case of the major outage, a lot of applications can be impacted. And truly behind the curtain, we are building something which is like we're changing the world. We are fighting for decentralization. We use this narrative. We want to be decentralized. We want to deliver great projects. But somewhere in our tech stack, we fail to go fully decentralized, and we do rely on the product of a big corporation. And this is something that we could probably change. And this is where our own frustration as a service provider and also as someone in a prime position to actually talk with a lot of projects, because a lot of us here are actually infrastructure projects or represent such teams. So you have your customers, you have your communities, you have your partners. So you know how it is. You understand their problems, and we also hear a lot from our customers. And this is one of the biggest issues that they are facing. And at the same time, RPCs are a backbone of Web3. Like they are the reason why we are able to actually connect to the blockchain node, and no matter if this is smart contract interactions, submitting transactions, or actually retrieving data as an indexer, we all use RPCs. So this is like a crucial part of this whole landscape, and we can do it better, definitely. And that's why we are here. And currently, our network, which was launched, Brittany is here with me. Was it 1 week ago, our mainnet? 1 week. So we made it this way that we are able to actually share with community and be able to reach out with builders, actually celebrate together, because that's a big milestone for our project. And now our mainnet is already launched, and currently it's still serving only indexing services. So that's a decentralized network where you can get your data indexed, you can become an indexer and offer these services to others. But we still rely, in the current shape, on centralized RPCs. And what we want to change about it is actually offer, alongside decentralized indexers, decentralized RPCs within the same network. So you would be able to use one network to get both those two elements of infrastructure landscape done, and in a decentralized way. So this is the future. So this is the big change that we wanted to announce. And just to look back on the web tech stack which we currently have. So I want to focus on indexers and RPCs providers. To be honest, I exactly said already that RPCs are the backbone of the whole infrastructure, because they are responsible for communicating with the blockchain. So we will be using them to get the data from the chain. Indexers are using RPCs, and indexers are helping with retrieving data from the chain with RPCs usage to be able to deliver this data in the shape you want to have to your application layer. And what we want to change about it is that with Subquery Network, you will be able to cover those two elements within one ecosystem, within one place. I'm not sure if this is visible, but we wanted to share a little more about our roadmap and also what we are planning to do. So I already said that we had the Kepler network launched. We were very successful. We had thousands of indexers indexing for months. Then we focused on onboarding more and more customers. We had a public sale where we rewarded our community with some tokens, and of course, we had our mainnet launch. Our mainnet doesn't overlap with Kepler network, so the beginning of mainnet meant also the end of Kepler, so we also migrated all the projects already indexing on our pre-mainnet to mainnet network. And this is, and where we are today is we are working on bringing this support for decentralized RPCs. But this is not where we want to finish. So our next step would be to actually enhance and then democratize RPCs. So what we want to do when we talk about enhancing RPCs. So nodes are optimized for validating, for security reasons, but not necessarily for querying, and this is what we want to change. So we want to introduce a Subquery data node, which would be optimized for data querying, and thus we will enhance the performance of it. It will be a heavily forked RPC. We will start with layer 2s and in EVM ecosystem, and we will keep it open source and available for others to build upon it and enhance it with us. When it comes to democratizing, what we want to do, we want to solve issues around cost. This is something that is very important for not only projects that are starting in general, everybody, so optimization around performance and then cost, this is in our prime focus. And what we want to do, we want to introduce shredded data nodes. And how it would work is that we will spread blockchain range in between nodes in our network. So not every node has to be synced ideally and constantly with the latest block. So we will spread let's say, the responsibility of a certain blockchain range through the whole network, and thus we'll be able, through one endpoint and quite efficiently, provide a full entire historic state of the blockchain. It will be easier than in a traditional or current way. And we strongly believe that because of the fact that we work so closely with a lot of customers and providing indexing services for years across different ecosystems, we do have the skills and expertise to bring this holistic approach and change the game once more for developers. And as I mentioned, that's our goal is to have this open market decentralized and make it as easy as possible for node operators to join us. So no matter what you want to serve, the network will be open for node operators. We will also reward them based on the metrics and based on the metrics like performance and also quality of the service and its costs. So this will also driven this value across the whole network, and naturally our network will grow in this way. And the most performant and less costly nodes will be rewarded. And we also want nodes operator to be able to bring the other chains and different projects to the network. So we expect seeing our network growing on demand and growing organically and do it together with node operators. And why Subquery is suited to solve these issues is because with our experience and our Kepler network, we've already built core elements that are needed for RPCs as well. So when we were building Kepler and then mainnet and launching it for indexers, we understood that we already have those three elements in place. We figured out payments and the reward processes. We figured out the verification of the services. We figured out monitoring. We figured out dispute resolution processes. So if anything goes wrong, we can react to it and we can redirect the traffic and other providers in the network can pick it up. So definitely all those things that we had to design and think through for the indexing services are also something that we can use for RPCs. So that's why we thought let's go bigger, let's do more, let's propose more holistic approach and solution. And as I mentioned, our pre-mainnet was quite successful, so we had a lot of indexers. We have a huge number of API requests under the hood, and we also have a decent-sized community. So we are not starting from scratches. We are established a product with a lot of partnership deeply rooted around different ecosystems. And we are just going one step further, and we want to do it with you. So we really want you to join our network. And just to sum up, we'll be able to, through the globally distributed network of nodes, we'll be able to provide superior latency and redundancy. We'll be able to scale the blockchain in general, but also the app builders will be able to scale with us easily. And our network will be reliable by design. And of course, all of it hopefully will help builders get their projects faster, make them more efficient. This is our mission, to help others build modern, immersive, intuitive applications that can compete with any other application coming from Web2. And yes, please join our network. Mainnet is launched. Under this link, actually, you can check our network dashboard. You can see projects that are there to be indexed. You can see indexers which are operating currently, and any other information. And we will be happy for you to come along and join us in that journey. And if you need more information, I invite you also to look on our docs. We put a lot of efforts into education and great step-by-step guides, also video tutorials. So there is a lot of information about the open source indexer, but also a lot about network, so definitely a good resource. And if you're coming from the graph, here is the link to our step-by-step guide showing you how to easily migrate from Graph to Subquery. The development experience is quite similar. So if you have any experience with Graph, you would clearly understand what to do, and migration is very easy. But always reach out to us if you have any question. We'll be happy to provide technical support or advice. And join our community. We are very busy at Discord. Team members are present. You can get inspired, learn what others are building, and also ask any technical question in our technical support channel. But we are also available in person here. We will hang out. So we want to meet you all, listen about your indexing use cases, needs, and see if Subquery could help you. If you are representing network team, make sure to also reach out to us, and we can discuss if we could bring support for your chain. This is my Telegram handle, so drop me a line if you want to be connected with us. And with that, thank you so much for your time. Happy to be here, and that's it. That's what I wanted to say today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marta.